What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video. And today, I want to kind of talk about more slept-on characters, but rather than outright slept on, like people think the characters are bad or whatever, or they have some big reason for not playing them, I want to talk about characters that are more overlooked. So, characters that are strong or very strong in certain cases, but people just kind of don't talk about them. So, of course, it's very easy to talk about meta characters, right? Like GT Goku, oh my god, SSJ, everyone plays SSJ Goku, oh, everyone plays Kibu. But there are also characters that are very, very strong that we just don't talk about at all. And the three that have been on my mind and I want to talk about today are Android 21, Adult Gohan. You can hear my voice too, like he's a violator to me, right? And Super Saiyan Vegeta, these three. Let's get the boys out here. Okay. So why? So these three characters, I believe, are all quite strong. In Adult Gohan's case, I literally think he's top tier. Like he's like a top 5 character. But they're just kind of not talked about very much because of our current meta. So 21 is actually like pretty uncommon. 21 and SSJ Vegeta are outright like not very common. And in 21's case, it kind of makes sense because she sort of needs specific team builds. She is kind of like a zoner in the game. So, you know, she's very reliant on her Ki Blasts and her Stomps and stuff. She needs teams built around her. So, for example, I usually say that you should definitely play a Beam, Goku, or Goku Black with 21. Like, you should just do it. She's made for that kind of stuff. So if people don't want to play a runaway game, which most people who play Dragon Ball, they don't want to run away, they want to fly in, it makes sense that you don't play Android 21. She is still really strong. I think actually looking back to in last year, remember we had the whole like back and forth, Leffen saying the character sucks, other people saying the character's top tier, no one really knows what's what. Looking back, I think she was top tier. Like, I think she was really, really top tier when the game came out. You had these great stomps, still this great Ki Blast, even though we didn't know how to use Ki Blast that well. Touch of Death off mad stuff. She had an infinite combo, literally, that was not that hard to do or set up. And she could do it from round start. The steals were better last year overall than they are now. Fuzzies weren't a thing, so defense wasn't an issue. She had a lot going on for her then. She still has a lot going on for her now. She's a very functional zoner. Her Ki Blasts are amazing. Her being on your team literally deletes some characters, like Ginyu doesn't exist, Piccolo doesn't exist when you have her on your team. She's one of the only characters in the game that have this, and anti-air grab, all praise anti-air grabs, in a game where everybody's jumping around and floating. And you know how much I hate floating. I hate floating. So in a game where everyone's jumping around floating, she could just scoop you very easily. She has a command grab, really good solo functionality because of her big buttons, pretty good frame data, good projectile, her assist is good, she's the whole package. But people overlooking her makes sense because not everyone wants to play a defensive character. That makes sense. Now, Adult Gohan, though. Adult Gohan has literally been top tier since the game came out, but the most people have talked about him was actually when the game came out, because he had the hard knockdown, right? That was the big, like, gasp, he's the only character in the game that has this besides, like, 16. Now, even when they nerfed him, he's still very good, and he was on the World Finals team. Like, Kazunoko won with Adult Gohan on the team, but most people's memory of that team is just, wow, Yamcha is just stupid, and wow, Gotenks is really broken. Just those two things. Adult Gohan played a big part of that team, though, and he is literally like a top 5 character that people just don't really talk about. And he's kinda common, too. Like, people still use him. You see him in World Tour teams, like Shanks has him on his team, Nakio has him on his team. He's just not like on 80% of the teams for some reason, which is odd because he has basically everything that everyone wants in a character. As we've talked about before, he has it's not 2L, but he has a low, he's got like good neutral. He can play neutral without having to worry about super dash. He does a lot of damage. He has mix-ups. He has a DP, which is this input. I'm not used to having DPs, so he has a DP. He has a bunch of things, and we kind of just like he's the top tier that people are like, Okay. Okay, you playing? Okay. Okay. We see Kid Buu, we go, Urgh! We see Team Gohan, you go, Urgh! Right? You see Bardock, you're like, oh my god, another Bardock. You see Adult Gohan, you're like, okay. Now the last one is actually Super Saiyan Vegeta, and his is the most confusing. Super Saiyan Vegeta has also been kind of on a roller coaster in this game between the original Vegeta sucks to and his assist got nerfed. Remember, his assist got nerfed. His assist was super stupid when the game came out. To him being on like almost every team, to him disappearing totally, to him coming back, to today where he's not that common, and there's some people who underrate him for some reason. He's an amazing character, an A+ character in my opinion. Air DP super important, super amazing neutral game. You cannot catch him. He has full screen moves. He has a DP, very important. He's got mix-ups if you need them, and the most important thing is his assist is still amazing. It's amazing. When you have him on your team, you don't need an anti-air assist, and you can argue you don't need a beam either. You can put something else in the middle, like Kid Buu or something, or like Gotenks, like a pressure assist or character when you have him, because he controls so much space and he slows the game down and he covers an angle that not many moves or characters cover. It's really important and still really good. And in today's context, specifically today's, you might say, meta, when people are playing stuff like Kid Buu and GT together, plus like, let's say Bardock, right? That team sounds super strong. That team's also really weak to this. Because if you're playing, say, Team Gohan, Kid Buu, Bardock, just making a team up, then you don't have a really good way of dealing with this. So even though people think that Vegeta is not necessarily that great, he literally shuts down that team. The assist shuts the team down. More neutral builds like, say, GT SSJ will fight SSJ Vegeta well, but a lot of the more aggressive builds like something Yamcha, DP Yamcha for example, or like GT Kid Buu, something like that, they're going to struggle against SSJ Vegeta because you can't super dash, you can't force your way in, you have to work your way in with your point character against somebody who can kind of just hop around and call this and run it after. So these three characters are all very good still, and like I said, in Adult Gohan's case, he's top tier still. But they're just kind of like, we just kind of quietly are like, okay, keep it on the low. Alright, let me know what you think about these three characters. I know there are definitely people who play these three characters because they're good characters. But just let me know what you think, because this is kind of like a meta talk. If we were talking about, like, what are the outright meta characters right now? Probably SJ Goku, GT Goku, Kid Buu, Team Gohan's getting there, Bardock is there, Yamcha is there. Characters you see often. These are characters that are very good, but not seen often. Let me know if you can think of anyone else. Let me know what you think of these guys. Let me know if you think I'm a capper. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.